In a sunny city like Miami, where the beaches and towering skyscrapers always shimmer under the bright sunlight, there was a little girl named Bella. At just 10 years old, Bella didn't dream of expensive toys or faraway trips. She had only one dream: to become a famous author, someone who could tell magical stories to the entire world. Every day, Bella would pick up her pen and create stories in her tiny notebook, where strange characters, distant kingdoms, and thrilling adventures always existed. But Bella knew her dream was huge for someone like her. Could her dream ever come true? Or would it forever remain just hasty scribbles on plain sheets of paper? But before we dive into this beautiful story, if you love inspiring tales and want to join us in exploring big dreams, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the Heart Glow channel. To never miss any exciting stories, turn on the notification bell and become part of a community that cherishes beautiful things. Now, let's begin Bella's story. Bella lived in stories, but not just any stories. She lived in mystical worlds she created in her mind. Every afternoon, when the last rays of sunlight crept through the window, Bella would sit by her small desk, holding her pen, her eyes sparkling like the stars, and begin to write. The stories Bella crafted weren't like anyone else's. She imagined distant lands, mythical creatures, and magical adventures. In her world, Bella was the creator of everything. She was the one who decided what happened, which characters faced challenges, and how they overcame them. Day after day, Bella's dream remained unchanged. She wanted to become an author, to write stories that people would read and love. But unlike other kids, Bella didn't dream of a life filled with expensive toys or far-off vacations. She only dreamed of one day seeing her stories on bookshelves, nestled among thousands of others, and having someone, a stranger, pick one up to read. That was Bella's biggest dream, and every time she looked at the blank pages, that dream became clearer than ever before. Bella lived in a family that wasn't wealthy. Both of her parents were factory workers, toiling away all day on construction sites and in noisy factories. The sounds of machinery and the exhaustion after long work shifts were a constant in Bella's life. She knew that her family couldn't afford to fulfill her distant dreams. Her parents always taught her to be practical, to accept what she had, and not to dream about things beyond her reach. Still, Bella's parents never discouraged her from chasing her dream. They always encouraged her to keep going, no matter how difficult things got. Her mother, tired after a long day's work, would still sit with Bella each evening, listening to her read the stories she'd written. "You can do it, Bella. I believe in you," her mom would always say whenever Bella felt tired or wanted to give up. Even though her parents couldn't help her financially, their love and support were the greatest motivation for Bella to keep dreaming. One day, Bella's grandmother, a wise woman who always brought warmth into Bella's life, came to visit. She sat at the table and pulled out a delicate notebook from her old fabric bag. Its cover yellowing with age. "This is my notebook from when I was a child," she said, smiling gently. "Each story in here is a dream of mine. Now, I want you to keep it." Bella opened the notebook, and immediately, a magical feeling swept over her. The words inside weren't just ordinary stories. They were strange, full of magic and adventure. One story told of a princess who had lost her memory, another about a village where stars fell every night, and yet another about a giant dragon that could turn into a human. That notebook wasn't just a gift, it was a treasure chest of her grandmother's dreams, and Bella felt that this was the special gift her grandmother had given her. She promised to continue those stories, to make them her own, and never forget the lessons her grandmother had taught her. Every day, Bella would open the notebook and quietly write new stories. She wondered if she could create stories as magical as those, and whether one day, people would read the stories she wrote in that very notebook. The next morning, Bella sat at her desk, the soft light of the morning filtering through the window onto the blank pages. She picked up her pen, her eyes lighting up as she thought about the magical notebook her grandmother had given her. An idea sparkled in her mind. "I'm going to write a story about a princess," she whispered to herself. This story would be the first piece of her journey to make her dream come true. Bella didn't want to write about just any princess. She wanted to create a character who was strong, smart, and brave, someone who would overcome all obstacles to protect her kingdom. The princess wouldn't just live in a beautiful castle, she would have to fight, face monsters, and learn to overcome her own fears. With each word she wrote, Bella felt like she was living in that world, walking alongside the princess through dense forests, overcoming difficult trials. She wasn't just creating a story. Bella was building a whole new world, where whatever she imagined could come to life. And though she was just beginning, Bella felt the joy and excitement of watching her story slowly come together. This would be the first piece, and Bella believed it was just the beginning of many magical things to come. Every evening, after a long day of studying and writing, Bella would sit by the window, gazing out, letting her thoughts float away with the wind. Bella's big dream always lingered in her mind, a dream not just of writing stories, but of seeing them on the shelves of major bookstores. She had seen beautiful books on shelves and wondered if one day, her name could be next to those famous works. She dreamed of being recognized as the youngest author in America. But Bella also understood that it was a distant dream. Her family didn't have the money to help, and no one really believed she could make it. But despite the difficulties, despite the doubts, that dream still burned brightly in her heart. One day, Bella hoped it would all come true, and she would see her books soaring high like kites in the sky, no matter how big her dream was. Bella decided not to give up. She continued to write, to refine her stories every day. Even though no one believed she could become a famous author, Bella knew she had to try. If she didn't, she would never know whether her dream could become a reality. Every time she wrote, Bella felt like she wasn't just writing for herself, but for all the people who had said she couldn't do it. She wrote to prove that no matter how humble your beginnings, with passion and perseverance, anything is possible. And with the notebook in her hands, Bella began her journey, the journey that would lead her to the dream she believed would come true one day. One calm, breezy morning, Bella, along with her friends, attended a small book exhibition at school. It was the first event of its kind she had ever participated in, and she was both nervous and excited to be able to showcase her notebook filled with stories she'd written over the years. Though the exhibition was modest, with only students and teachers in attendance, Bella felt that this was her chance to share her dreams with the world. She stood by her table, quietly admiring the books around her, trying to control the rising excitement in her chest. Suddenly, a woman walked into the exhibition, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. She was dressed in a stylish outfit, her smooth brown hair shining, and her eyes bright with authority. It was Camila Reyes, a famous publishing mogul. She was not the type of person to blend in with the crowd, and Bella had no idea that this powerful woman was making her way to her table. Camila stopped in front of Bella's booth and glanced at the notebook with its tiny, passionate handwriting. She smiled softly and said, "This story is very special." Bella looked up, her eyes wide in surprise, unable to believe that someone like Camila Reyes would take an interest in her stories. What seemed like a chance encounter was about to change Bella's life forever. After a brief silence, Camila Reyes sat down beside Bella's table and asked, "Do you know you have great talent, young lady?" Bella didn't quite understand, but she felt a warmth from this woman, an unusually friendly aura. Camila continued, her eyes filled with sincerity, "Your story is unlike anyone else's. You could become a famous author, someone who can change the world with stories like these." Bella felt a jolt of electricity run through her body. She'd never imagined that her writing could be so highly regarded. But Camila didn't just offer praise, she made an unexpected proposal. "I can help you. Have you ever thought about publishing your book?" These words felt like a beacon of light in the dark. Camila Reyes, the woman Bella had only ever seen on TV, was sitting in front of her, offering her help. Bella couldn't believe her ears. She was confused, her heart racing, but part of her already knew that this dream of hers could truly become a reality. Though overwhelmed and skeptical, Bella's heart swelled with hope. Noticing Bella's doubt, Camila decided to share her own story to help the young girl understand why she wanted to help. Camila began telling Bella about her own humble beginnings, the days when she lived in a poor neighborhood, where every meal was a struggle. "I grew up in a family with nothing but love, but we lacked material things. Both my parents worked hard, and they never had the chance to teach me much about the world beyond our small neighborhood," Camila shared, her voice calm yet full of emotion. "I taught myself everything, from reading books to learning how to run a business. And then, I built my publishing empire from scratch." She continued, "When I started, no one believed I would succeed. They said I was just a poor girl who couldn't change the world. But I didn't give up. I believed in my dream. And now, I'm here to help you make yours come true." Bella listened intently to every word, feeling the sincerity in Camila's voice. She realized that no matter how difficult the starting point might be, with faith and perseverance, anything could change. Camila had inspired Bella, and now, Bella felt that she too could make her dream come true, just like Camila had. Though moved by Camila's story, Bella couldn't shake her skepticism. She looked at the powerful woman before her and wondered if this was some sort of joke. Why would someone like Camila Reyes care about a girl like me? Bella thought to herself. She wasn't sure what to believe. Maybe this was just a polite gesture from a wealthy person who didn't really care about people like her. "You won't really help me, will you?" Bella asked quietly, her voice trembling, as if seeking confirmation from Camila. Camila looked into Bella's eyes, gently placed her hand on the table, and said, "You might think that, but I'm not the kind of person who just talks. I've helped many people, and I truly believe in your potential. If you decide to come with me, I'll help you become an author." These words were a promise, a commitment that Bella couldn't ignore. Even though she still had doubts, Camila's words stirred something in her heart. This could be the opportunity of a lifetime. Camila didn't stop at offering encouragement, she made a real offer. "I want to help you publish your first book. But there's just one condition," Camila said, her eyes lighting up with determination. "You have to finish this story, complete what you've started. If you do that, I will take care of everything to get your book out to the public." Bella stared at the woman in front of her, surprised and moved. She couldn't believe that such a famous billionaire would place so much trust in her. Bella's life, until now, had revolved around small dreams, stories written in old notebooks. But now, someone was offering her a chance to make those dreams a reality. However, Bella knew that to complete her work, she would face many challenges. But there was no doubt in her mind, she was filled with a strong drive to move forward. After a long period of reflection, Bella finally made her decision. Though she was still filled with worry and wondered if she could truly finish the story, part of her knew this was an opportunity she couldn't pass up. She couldn't let fear stop her from chasing her dream. "I'll do it," Bella said to Camilla, her eyes shining with determination. "I will finish my story." Camilla smiled and took Bella's hand in a gesture of trust and support. "I know you will," Camilla said, her voice gentle yet confident. That was a pivotal moment in Bella's life. She had stepped onto a path that could change everything, from a poor girl with simple dreams to an actual published author. And though she didn't know what the future would hold, Bella was ready to begin her journey with faith and hope in her heart. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with the program, I'd like to invite you to leave a comment and share your thoughts in the comments section. If you find this program meaningful, don't hesitate to share it to support the channel and help spread its message to others around you. I wish you all a meaningful time ahead. Since Bella agreed to accept Camilla's help, she stepped into a completely new world, one that went beyond the stories in her notebook, and into real work, a challenging process that demanded dedication. Camilla wasn't just a companion, she was a mentor with vast experience. She helped Bella refine every sentence, every paragraph in her story. Whenever Bella finished a part, Camilla would sit with her, listen attentively, and offer suggestions on how to develop the characters and make the story deeper, more vibrant. "Sweetheart," Camilla would often say, "your characters need to evolve. Let them change, let them learn from the challenges they face." Bella could feel the love in every piece of advice Camilla offered, but also noticed the strictness in her approach. Camilla didn't want Bella's stories to just be beautiful dreams, but true works of art that could touch the hearts of readers. Bella learned so much from Camilla about how to build a story, creating a world not just in her imagination, but in the hearts of the readers. Every piece of advice from Camilla was a solid brick in the foundation of Bella's dream. And even though there were moments when Bella felt exhausted, Camilla's support always kept her moving forward. Despite having Camilla's guidance, Bella faced many difficulties in the writing process. She didn't just struggle with technical challenges, but also with the pressure of the promises she had made. "I will finish the story. I can do this." Every time Bella sat down to write, those words echoed in her mind, but each time she began, it felt like an invisible wall was blocking her. The story no longer flowed as naturally as before, and ideas that once seemed brilliant now seemed unclear and hard to express. "How can I make this story special?" Bella wondered, frustration rising in her heart. She didn't want to disappoint Camilla, but she wasn't sure how to overcome these obstacles. Every time she paused to think, she felt weak and unsure of herself. "Maybe I'm just not good enough," Bella thought. And then, looking out the window, the soft glow of the evening sun made her feel as if her dream was slowly fading away. In moments like these, Camilla always appeared right on time, like a companion ready to share her wisdom. Camilla knew that Bella needed more than just technical writing guidance, she needed encouragement and belief in herself. One day, when Bella seemed tired and overwhelmed, Camilla sat down next to her and gently said, "Every great work of art has its tough moments. But the key is not to give up. You have to believe in yourself. You can do it." Camilla didn't just talk, she also shared her own stories with Bella. She spoke about the times she felt like she was going to fall, moments when she thought she couldn't go on, but then stood up, found her perseverance, and reignited her passion. Camilla's words were like a spark that ignited Bella's heart. Bella realized that obstacles were part of the journey, and if she didn't overcome them, how could she achieve that big dream? Camilla's encouragement helped Bella regain her confidence and keep writing. Even during the moments when she felt discouraged, it wasn't just Camilla. Bella's family was also a major source of encouragement. Though they weren't wealthy, the love and support from her family was always a strong foundation for her. Every day, after coming home from school, Bella would sit down at her old desk and continue her writing. Bella's mother, though just a worker, always believed in her daughter's abilities. "You can do this," her mom would often say, her eyes shining with pride. "You can create wonderful things." With her mother's encouragement, Bella felt like she was no longer alone on this journey. Every time she faced difficulty, her mom was there to listen and share. She would tell stories from her own childhood, the struggles she had overcome to achieve her dreams. This made Bella realize that nothing was impossible if she had enough patience and determination. Family was always Bella's greatest source of support, and every time she felt tired, she would think of her mom, think of those encouraging words, and press forward. Slowly, Bella realized that writing a book wasn't just a game. It was serious work that required patience and tireless effort. She had gone through many revisions, reading and rereading every part of the story, finding weaknesses to fix each time. Small details like describing characters or building suspenseful moments in the plot required creativity and diligence. Every time a new chapter was completed, Bella felt like she had conquered a small mountain, and the more she wrote, the more she loved the creative process. With support from Camilla and her family, Bella gradually understood that perfecting a work wasn't easy, but it was through that process that she learned valuable lessons about perseverance, creativity, and passion for the craft. Even when feeling exhausted, Bella found joy in each small step forward. Looking back at her journey, she no longer felt anxious, only proud of what she had accomplished. Finally, after months of hard work, Bella completed her first book. She couldn't believe that after all the struggles, she was now holding a finished piece of work in her hands. The words Bella had written came alive, and the characters she created were no longer just images in her mind, but stories that could touch the hearts of readers. Bella's dream was no longer distant. She knew she was very close to opening the door to a new world, one she had dreamed of for many years. And even though the road ahead still held many challenges, Bella believed she could overcome them because she now had the support of incredible friends, and most importantly, she had found belief in herself. Once Bella's book was finally completed, Camilla wasted no time in sending it off to major publishing houses, hoping for their support. However, the response from the publishing world wasn't what either Camilla or Bella had hoped for. Editors, who were supposed to have an eye for talent, doubted the ability of a 10-year-old girl to produce a worthy book. A girl like her, could she really understand what it takes to write a truly great book? One editor remarked when returning Bella's manuscript, "Camilla, though used to the skepticism and challenges of the publishing industry, couldn't help but feel frustrated. But she didn't let that shake her determination. She explained that talent isn't bound by age. Talent is priceless, it can't be measured by age," Camilla told those who rejected the manuscript. Yet, despite her best efforts to convince them, all she received were cold rejections. This made Bella feel as though her chances were slipping away. She had poured her heart and soul into this book, and now the doubts from the publishing world made her feel lost and uncertain. The rejections didn't just disappoint Bella, they sparked rumors and whispers in the community. People started questioning whether she truly had any talent. The gossip spread like wildfire at school and among her peers. "That girl must have only gotten help because Camilla is famous. Who would believe that a kid like her could write a book?" These words became an invisible weight, pressing heavily on Bella's shoulders. Every time Bella walked past groups of classmates, she could hear the whispers and feel the scrutinizing glances. It was as though she was under constant pressure from every direction. The laughter, the suspicious looks made her wonder if she was capable of doing something she once only dreamed of. Am I just fooling myself? Bella asked herself. She felt as though everything was crumbling, that all the effort she had put in was being undervalued. The feeling was like a huge wave crashing down, sweeping away all the confidence she once had, but then, Camilla stepped in, standing up to defend Bella with unshakable resolve. She wouldn't allow anyone to judge a child's talent just because of her age. Camilla knew that Bella was no ordinary case. She wasn't a wannabe writer with meaningless words, she was a girl with a big dream and real talent. During a meeting with publishers, Camilla didn't hesitate to challenge the negative opinions. Do you all think that someone's talent has to reach a certain age before it's recognized? Camilla asked, her voice steady and firm. I used to be a poor child with no one believing in me, and I showed the world that age doesn't matter. Bella has talent, and that's the only thing you need to focus on. Look at what she's done, not what you think she can do. Camilla made it clear that she wouldn't let anyone stop Bella's dream. Her words were not only protective but also a challenge to the industry's ageist attitudes. Even though Camilla fought fiercely for Bella, the biggest challenge was far from over. After being rejected by several major publishers, Bella's book continued to face negative feedback. One publisher even wrote in a rejection letter, "We can't accept a work from an author who is not mature enough. This book lacks the maturity we're looking for." These rejections felt like a cold splash of water to Bella. She couldn't understand why a book she had put so much heart into was being criticized just because of her age. As the doors continued to close, Bella sank into a deep sense of despair. She sat alone in her room, gazing out the window, not knowing what to do next. Every time she thought of the rejections, her heart filled with sadness, and her dream seemed like a distant shadow, never to come true. Maybe I should give up, Bella thought. Maybe I'm not meant to do something great. The disappointment enveloped Bella like a dark cloud. She no longer felt confident like she used to. The encouraging words from her mother and Camilla seemed to fade as the doors Bella had once hoped would open slammed shut before her eyes. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, Bella whispered to herself. I feel like I don't deserve my dreams. Was it all just a joke? As the days went by, Bella grew more and more tired and lost her drive. The manuscripts she had once cherished now lay forgotten in a corner. She no longer wanted to look at them. She didn't know whether to continue or not. Her mind kept repeating the same question, can I really become a writer? One quiet afternoon, as Bella sat on the armchair in her room, her mother came and sat next to her. She didn't say anything, just gently comforted her, as if she knew Bella needed a moment to breathe. Then her mother began to speak, "Sweetheart, failure isn't the end, it's part of the journey. I've failed many times, but I always believed that failure is just a lesson to make us stronger." Her mother looked at Bella with a soft, supportive gaze. You're not the only one who's ever failed. But the important thing is that you never give up. Your dream isn't meaningless, you can do it. And I'll always be here for you, not because you succeed or fail, but because you're my daughter. Her mother's words were like a warm breeze that revived Bella's strength. No matter how painful failure was, her mother had taught her that the most important thing was not to quit. Bella looked at her mother, her eyes brightening. She knew she would keep going, not just for herself, but for those who had believed in her. The day Bella had been waiting for finally arrived. After months of perseverance, countless trials, and a mountain of rejection, her book, her dream, was finally published. But this wasn't just a personal win. It was a living testament to resilience, determination, and the power of believing in something bigger than yourself. As Bella held the published copy in her tiny hands, seeing her name on the cover felt almost unreal. It was as if she had stepped into an entirely new world, one she'd only dared to imagine. The book flew off shelves. Thousands of copies sold in a matter of days. And Bella became the youngest author in America to hit the bestseller list. People who had once doubted her, who had dismissed her work or criticized her, now couldn't stop praising her. Everything changed. Bella's life, her family's life, and even her dreams turned into something magical. They became proof that if you're brave enough to chase your dreams, one day, they might just come true. Standing on stage at her book launch, Bella felt every clap echo through her soul. Her dream was no longer a fantasy, it was real. The media caught on fast, news outlets, talk shows, major magazines, everyone wanted a piece of the little girl with the big dream. Bella and her family were flooded with interview requests. But what truly captivated people wasn't just her talent, it was her grit, her heart, and her refusal to give up. Under the studio lights and camera flashes, Bella got her first taste of fame. She answered questions, posed for photos, and felt the awe in people's eyes. To kids across the country, she became a role model, a symbol of hope and belief. Seeing herself on TV made Bella proud, though she couldn't help feeling overwhelmed at times. Still, she never forgot what had kept her grounded through it all: her family, Camila, and the unwavering love of those who believed in her. In one heartfelt interview, Bella said, "I don't think I'm special or different from anyone else. I'm just a girl who had a dream, and I believe if you keep trying and never give up, you can do it too." Her words moved millions. Simple, but powerful, a reminder that sometimes, the quietest voices carry the loudest truths. But success wasn't without its shadows. The pressure started to build. Editors wanted more books. Readers demanded deeper stories. And every day, Bella felt the weight of expectations grow heavier. Could she really live up to everything people now believed she was? There were critics too, those who questioned whether she deserved the spotlight. Some whispered that her success was nothing more than clever marketing. These doubts stung. They made Bella feel like she had to prove herself all over again. Nights became restless. Worries piled up. The fear of letting people down crept in. Even with all the love and support surrounding her, Bella sometimes felt alone under the pressure. But through every sleepless night and every anxious thought, she kept writing, kept believing, and through it all, Bella never forgot the lessons her journey taught her. She realized success isn't a straight line. Behind every victory was a trail of failures, setbacks, and heartbreaks. Every no she heard, every moment she wanted to quit, they all shaped her. Failure isn't the end, Bella would remind herself. It's just part of growing. Each challenge taught her to be braver, to trust herself, to keep moving forward, even when the road was rough. And every time she stumbled, she stood back up, stronger than before. Her success wasn't just about talent. It was about persistence. And the courage to keep learning. Back home, life was changing too. Bella's family, who had once struggled to make ends meet, no longer had to worry about bills or putting food on the table. Her parents, who had given so much to support their children, could finally breathe a little easier, but what made Bella proudest wasn't the money or the fame, it was that her family stayed grounded. Her mom never changed, always standing quietly in the background, encouraging and loving her. No matter how bright the spotlight grew, Bella remained humble. She knew where her strength came from. And she knew her success wasn't hers alone, it belonged to every single person who had loved her along the way, and still, Bella wasn't done. With her first book a roaring success, her imagination soared higher than ever. She began mapping out new stories, new projects, new dreams. "This is only the beginning," she whispered to herself, her eyes sparkling like stars. She wanted to write more. She wanted to inspire other kids the way stories had once inspired her. Every page she planned felt like a piece of her soul coming to life, but Bella's vision grew beyond books. She dreamed of starting something bigger, an organization to support kids who loved writing but didn't have the same opportunities. She wanted to give them a chance to share their stories, not for fame or fortune, but because she believed in the power of storytelling. Bella's dream wasn't just to write. It was to create a world where every child, no matter how small their voice, could believe their story mattered. And maybe, just maybe, make their own dream come true too. Bella never stopped dreaming, not even after achieving the kind of success most kids could only imagine. After her very first book became a phenomenon, Bella didn't just sit back and enjoy the fame. Instead, she kept searching for new stories to tell. With each tale, she wasn't just creating fantasy worlds, she was sending out messages of hope, faith, and love to anyone who picked up her work. She knew that every book was more than just words on a page, it was a gateway into a magical world, where readers could feel understood and inspired. She continued to write quietly, patiently, just as she had from the very beginning. But now, her stories went beyond fairy tales. She began exploring real-life themes, the ups and downs of friendship, the strength of family, and dreams that refused to fade. Every time Bella sat down to write, it felt like stepping into another universe, one where she could live through the characters she created. And even though she was now a famous author, Bella's passion for storytelling burned just as brightly. She knew, deep in her heart, that this was her calling. She wasn't going to stop, and her dream of writing would go on forever. Bella's career blossomed. She quickly became one of the most well-known names in children's literature, not just in America, but all over the world. Her books didn't just capture the hearts of young readers, parents adored them too, because of the deep, heartfelt messages woven into every story. She received prestigious awards, and her book signings often drew crowds in the thousands. Bella proved to the world that success wasn't about age, it was about passion. Persistence, and pouring your heart into every word. Her influence went far beyond best-selling books. Bella became a role model, an endless source of inspiration for kids everywhere. Teachers and parents encouraged children to read her stories, and schools even hosted discussions centered around her books. Bella had become a symbol of creativity, courage, and perseverance. In her words, children found not just a storyteller, but a friend, a guide, and a beacon of hope. The bond between Bella and Camilla was no longer just a professional partnership. Camilla, the woman who believed in Bella from day one, had become her closest friend. They shared joys, faced challenges together, and celebrated every victory side by side. Camilla wasn't just a mentor, she was a trusted companion, always there with wisdom, encouragement, and a listening ear. Together, they worked on new book projects, expanding Bella's reach in the publishing world. Camilla knew Bella wasn't just a talented writer, she was a girl with a big heart, always eager to make a difference. They created books that were not only entertaining, but educational and deeply inspiring for young minds. Camila was incredibly proud of Bella, and she never stopped cheering her on. Their friendship had grown into something truly special, far beyond business. It had become a cornerstone of both their lives. With fame and success came a bigger dream. Bella wanted to give back, to help other kids who loved writing just as much as she did. She started a writing class for children, a place where young storytellers could find their voice and learn from Bella's own journey. She taught them how to create, how to believe in their stories, and most importantly, how to chase their dreams with all their heart. Each session was more than just writing lessons. Bella shared her personal story, the obstacles, the fears, and even the failures she had faced. And every time, she reminded her students, never give up, no matter how hard it gets. Writing wasn't just about putting words together, it was about expressing your soul, and showing the world the stories you carry within. Bella taught them that every child had the power to become an author. All it took was belief, and a lot of heart. After everything she had been through, the highs, the lows, the unforgettable moments, Bella came to realize something profound: the greatest success wasn't money or fame. It was the joy of sharing her stories with the world. Awards and applause didn't matter as much anymore. What truly mattered was writing stories that could change lives. She felt fulfilled knowing that she was staying true to her passion, and helping others discover theirs along the way. Bella understood that real success is about bringing joy, hope, and comfort to others. She no longer worried about what people thought of her. Instead, she focused on spreading her love of storytelling and being a light for other children to follow. Happiness, for Bella, didn't come from the spotlight, it came from knowing she was living her dream and helping others do the same. Looking ahead, Bella saw the future not as a final chapter, but as a wide-open book, full of new adventures waiting to be written. She had already created a treasure trove of beautiful stories, but she wasn't done yet. Bella kept seeking new ideas, new inspiration. Her dreams now included building a platform to help children around the world grow their writing talent, just like she had once been helped. With unstoppable passion, Bella knew she would keep creating meaningful stories, ones that weren't just literature, but living messages of love, hope, and the power of dreaming big. Bella's journey wasn't just about a 10-year-old girl who dreamed of becoming an author. It was a shining example of how belief and perseverance can take you anywhere. From hardship to joy, from doubt to triumph, she showed us all that age is never a limit. And more importantly, she reminded us that success isn't a destination, it's a journey. One where you keep moving forward, no matter what, believing in yourself every step of the way. Looking back, Bella wasn't just a young writer anymore, she had become a symbol of courage, resilience, and self-belief. From those first scribbled pages to moments when the odds seemed impossible, she rose above and took charge of her destiny. She didn't just chase her dream, she lit a path for millions of other kids to follow, showing them that no dream is ever too big. And even now, Bella continues to write, to share her journey, because she knows that every story has the power to spark someone else's. Her future is as wide and unwritten as the pages of a new book. And if there's one thing we can learn from Bella, it's that with enough heart, any dream can come true. If you love inspiring stories like Bella's and want to follow the magical journey of dreams coming to life, don't forget to subscribe to Heart Glow. We bring you beautiful stories, priceless life lessons, and endless motivation to remind you that any dream is possible. Let Heart Glow be your home for hope, and the place where dreams shine the brightest.